So how do you, I guess, okay, so yeah, I want to kind of get a deeper explanation of the tax revenue stuff because I don't know if I've really wrapped my head around all that. So what do you mean that so obviously the tax revenue is increasing, but the biggest sign is the tax revenue decreasing for the past recessions, and that's because of,
Yeah,
wages
just
and
go to
unemployment, or what,
right,
why? Okay,
right.
go ahead.
I mean, the best real-time indicator for me that I always look at is what's happening to tax revenue. Because if you pull up a chart from like the St. Louis, Federal Reserve, they have the FRED database, and just plot tax revenues, for the U.S. on a long chart, and you'll see that in every recession where there's a gray bar, tax revenues fall. It's, I mean, that's, when people talk about, oh, look at the deficits, that we had during the pandemic. Well, yes, there was spending, but part of the reason the deficit increased is because tax revenues fell off a cliff, right? That's the other half of it, right? There was less intake versus the outflow. So, so it's not even like tax revenues right now are, oh, they're flat. They're like plus 20%. And I'm talking like payroll. The one that I always key in on is they break it down for you in some of the Treasury reports that come out daily, and you can see kind of what the U.S. Treasury or via the IRS is taking in just from what they call withheld income and employment taxes, right? Which is the typical federal payroll taxes that you see on your paycheck, and that's booming. So right now in the U.S., the economy is fine from the point of view of the Fed because employment's good, tax revenues are good, right? So if that starts to flatten or roll over, yeah, that could be an early recession indicator, and it might. Like it's, I'm not saying that trend's going to continue, but for now, it seems to be very strong.
Do you think that also has to do something with, I guess, like corporate tax increases that they've recently made as well?
Corporate income taxes are a very small share of what drives federal tax revenues. The number one thing that drives federal tax revenues is individual income taxes, and by far the biggest component of that is payroll. Right? It's what's taken out of every, either every 2 weeks or whenever everybody gets paid. When your employer takes the federal taxes and remits them, that goes straight to the IRS, and that shows up on their report. That is like 70% of what the U.S. Treasury takes in terms of receipts.